I've been saving this. I have been saving this all fucking week. Chat.
Ain't your stream if we hijack it with Donos.
Shut up, Seb. Chat. We still have one very important thing to watch. And that is, we get to watch Scott shoot a goddamn 20mm anti-tank rifle. At God only knows what. Maybe a whale. If we're lucky. So chat, let us watch Scott having fun with a rather large boom boom. Yes! Oh yeah, baby.
What are you doing to my gun? No, I don't know, man. I don't know. Bye. See you later. What's up,
This is not the sulfur. This is the it's the Lahi. This is a different 20mm anti-tank rifle.
Everybody, my name is Scott and you're watching Kentucky Ballistics, and not too long ago I introduced you to my solar.
This is a big boy. I like him. Give me big boy. Come here. Yes. Give me big boy. I will take your entire stock.
Tank rifle, and I absolutely love this thing, but this old girl right here was kind of getting lonely and she needed a friend. So let me introduce you to her new BFF, Miss Lottie. So I've been scratching my head for quite a while trying to figure out how I celebrate hitting 5 million subscribers, which is absolutely insane, and I appreciate every single one of you. And to show my appreciation to you, I thought I would buy another 20mm. So now let me tell you a little bit about my newest financial blunder. This is the Lottie, and she is very similar to the Solarthern, but also has some differences. So this gun is 7 foot long, so we're gonna start at the business end and then work our way back. So the first thing you may notice about this, it has a massive muzzle brake, just like the Solarthern, but this one comes with a nifty muzzle brake cover. Then
very nice.
We have a wooden handguard that I guess doubles as a heat shield. We have iron sights, and then the biggest difference between the Lottie and the Solarthern is these massive sleds. So soldiers would actually drag these things sometimes on these sleds in the snow, and then once you got to where you would be firing this.
That makes perfect sense. He said this came from Sweden, right? That makes sense that they would need to have, you know, given the locale, it would need to have this because there's, or was it Finland, not Sweden. Sorry, I'm mixing up my Nordic locations. Yeah, you know, Finland. It makes sense given the amount of snow that Finland has that they would need. You know, he's calling them sleds, but these are more like skis. Yeah, given the amount of snow in Finland, this actually makes perfect sense to have this because, you know, why carry the fucking thing when you can just basically tie a rope to it and drag it like a sled and it would just slide right across the snow? Probably a fuckload easier to haul this thing. That's actually really cool. I like it.
This weapon, you have a bipod that flips down. This thing takes a massive 10-round magazine, and it is semi-automatic. It loads from the top and ejects the shells from the bottom, and you really got to watch your hands when you shoot this thing, from what I've been told, because when it ejects these shells, it is very violent and could hurt your fingies. There's also a little rubber piece down here that is supposed to help deflect those shells. So like the Solarton, the Lahi has a very stiff recoil system, and you can't just pull the bolt back. You literally have to crank it back. The Solarton
just like the
utilizes a chain, but the Lahi has a gear system. You just push this in, and then crank it about 2 times, and then you send it home, and you're ready to go. You have iron sights. This one does not have a scope like the Solarton. They did not utilize a scope, but from what I understand, the fins were pretty good with iron sights. The Solarton.
I said, and I'm imagining, Shadows, that is what Scott was referencing when he just said this line.
But from what I understand, the fins were pretty good with iron sights.
Yeah, that's direct reference right there. And Slaget, no, this just came out this week. We have not seen this one before. You're thinking of when he shot the Solarton. This one right next to him. The Lahi is when he's shooting today.
Solarton and the Lahi have the same taste in ammo, and that is 20 by 138B. Once you get your 10-round mag loaded and inserted, all you have to do is hit this grip safety down here, and it will send your bolt home. I would not want to put my thumb in that. So sometimes it's really hard to come across on camera just how big a gun is. So to give you some perspective, this is a Barrett M82A1 chambered in 50 BMG. It has a 20-inch barrel, and this by no means is a small gun. But you set it next to a Lahi and a Solarton, it looks pretty tiny.
And chat, am I wrong, or is this not a short-barreled Barrett 50? This is like a pretty short-barreled 50. Isn't the normal Barrett like the barrel on this is like normally double the length? That's what I thought. It's a shorty.
Me.
Yeah. He said, how
this by no means one chambered in 50 BM effective. This is a Barrett M82A1 chambered in 50 BMG. It has a 20-inch barrel, and
okay, that's a shorty. Cause it's like the standard barrel length on a 50 is usually 30 or 32. So this is a shorty. This is a shorty 50.
To a Lahi and a Solarton, it looks pretty tiny. And just to give you a little more perspective, this is a Barrett mag, and this is the Lahi mag.
Okay. Now that is impressive. That is a very impressive magazine difference. Yeah.
Both hold 10 rounds, but one is 50 BMG and the other is 20 millimeters. This guy right here is 750 grains and putting out around 13,000 foot-pounds of muzzle energy, while the 20 mil is a little over 2,300 grains and producing around 35,000 foot-pounds of muzzle.
Yeah. Chat, it's not the magazine she tells you not to worry about. It's the round that she tells you not to worry about. Chat, Scott, can I borrow one of those? I'll give it right back, I promise.
Muzzle energy. So now it's time to finally shoot this thing, and I am very excited because I have questions that need answers. What is the recoil gonna be like on this thing?
I regret nothing.
It's a little bit lighter than the Solarton, and its barrel does not reciprocate. So am I gonna have a good day, or is my shoulder gonna be reciprocating? Let's find out, shall we? Are you struggling with credit card debt, loans, medical bills, or maybe you just have an insatiable appetite for big bore firearms? But it doesn't have to be that way with today's sponsor, PDS Debt. If you're making your monthly payments on your debt every month and your balances aren't going down,
want it back, but I'd give it, offer it.
Solution for you. Everyone with $10,000 or more in eligible debt qualifies, No minimum credit score.
TX, I think the last time we saw the Atlas Stone video, I think he asked the question, what if he used the 20 mil?
Free debt analysis right
I
now
think that
by
question was posed the last time we saw an Atlas Stone video.
KYB. Again, a big thank you to PDS Debt for sponsoring today's video. And again, if you want to check them out, it's pdsdebt.com/KYB, and it only takes 30 seconds. Now, let's get to it. So my first question is, what's this thing going to be like shooting it on the sleds compared to the bipod? I'm guessing it's going to kick me a lot harder, but we're about to find out.
Yeah, it's gonna be very rocky.
Almost made a big mistake.
Like this.
And that is, always remember to remove your muzzle brake cover. I would have been big sad. It is a little muddy out today, so I'm going to lay on this table. Let's see.
He's going to have an issue with stability. That's the biggest problem with using the sleds. It has no pitch stability like the bipod will. That and not to mention, although I'm not sure how the bipod folds out. We'll see. I don't know. The bipods just fold down. So yeah, it's going to like rock, I would imagine.
Okay, let's go ahead and send our bolt home. So we do have one in the chamber.
Nice. Okay. Reasonably stable on the skis. Not bad. Honestly, not as much kick as I would have expected. No. Like, watch again. This does not have anywhere near as much kick as I thought it would. Not bad at all. Yeah, like, hang on, I want to see something. Let's see here. I want to. Oh, we've got two vents. It vents at the base of the handguard and the muzzle brake. That's why. That's why the recoil didn't look too bad. Because you have 2 points of gas ventilation. Ooh, nice.
First of all, shooting it off the sleds wasn't so bad. Second of all, if you notice right there, there is quite the crater in the ground. And my brass is full of dirt. And that is why you don't put your hand there when shooting the Lahi. And it looks like
I wonder if he's going to put something down there as a test.
Quite a bit of dirt from my berm. So now that I know that this thing is fairly safe to shoot, I'm going to lose the Premier Body Armor helmet and just switch back to my hat. And now we're going to let down this bipod and see how bad the recoil is with that. Now the sleds weren't that bad, so I bet this will make it even better. So this is a two-step process. Pull this and lets it down. And then I should be able to pull this and rock this whole thing. Uh-oh.
Good boy.
This may be a two-man job. Let me see here. Like that.
Go, watch your muzzle. Watch your muzzle.
This one. Oh, wait. There we go. Oh, it's much higher now. So one difference that I forgot to mention between the Lahi and the Solarthern is the Solarthern has an auto-loading feature. So when I put the mag in the Lahi, I have to manually send my bolt home. But with the Solarthern, it automatically sends the bolt forward. And when you're out of rounds with the Solarthern, it automatically ejects the mag while the Lahi holds it in there. Okie dokie. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone.
Honestly, I kind of wonder if he wasn't better firing it on the skids. Considering how high it's sitting on the bipod, the skids have a wider stance. And it almost seems like they'd be more stable. Interestingly enough. I'm curious to see how this goes.
We're going to see what this recoil is like, and I'm going to take a shot at that steel chair downrange and see where I'm hitting. All right, let's send our bolt home.
Hang on. Hang on. I can already see where this is going. I shift. And if need be, I will shift you guys.
And I'm going to aim dead center on that chair.
No, that was more. That was more recoil. On the bipod. He experienced more recoil with the bipod than he did on the sleds. Watch again. Yeah. He'd be better off using the sleds versus the bipod. Yeah, okay. Silver, and that's what I'm saying. The sleds have a larger footprint and a wider stability. But Purple, that's what I'm wondering. I don't know if the bipod isn't properly placed. It seems like it might be. But it's giving it a higher center of gravity, and the bipod is a narrower stance. I think it is. I think it is, Pawpaw. And Bigglesworth, thank you for the tier 2. Okay. Thank you, Bigglesworth. But no, Pawpaw, it's like the bipod is built into the gut. He can't change the positioning of the bipod. It's where it is. But the skis are wider and give it a lower sense of gravity. I suppose that the bipod could be, depending on the situation, but like, okay, with the current shooting situation that Scott is in testing this, the skis definitely are a better option for him than the bipod.
I'm going to say that the bipod is definitely better than the sleds. I barely even felt that. She got me kicking. The iron sight.
Wait. So visualized recoil and felt recoil for this are two very different things. Interesting, because it certainly looked like the recoil was harder than when it was on the sleds. According to Scott, it felt less. Interesting. Huh.
On the Lahi are offset to the left. I was aiming dead center, and as you can see, I hit about 4 inches to the right, which makes sense. So if I want to hit something with this thing, I need to be aiming about 4 inches to the left.
Papa.
Well, now
True.
We know that the Lahi will fire at least one shot at a time, and we know that the bipod helps with recoil better than the sleds. But this is a semi-automatic 20mm
Yeah, it certainly looked like, but
and it holds 10 rounds.
Guess it didn't feel like it.
Can we get multiple shots without the gun malfunctioning? So up next, I'm going to take 3 shots and see if we can get all 3 to go off without the gun getting a jam. And at the same time, we're going to perform an experiment. According to the slow-mo, the muzzle blast on this thing is pretty wicked. So I want to know what would happen if you were a little too close to that muzzle. Okay.
Stop. This is about to get... Okay, chat, what do we think's gonna happen? What do we think's gonna happen? I suspect it's going to blast this thing into pieces. Yeah, I do. We are going to I do think we are going to have a no thoughts, empty head kind of moment.
I would not want to be him right now. All right. First shot, here we go.
Not as bad as I thought. No, okay. Not as bad as I thought. But, fucking ow. I actually expected the concussion to be more significant. So, other than, yeah, basically degloving the face and severely dislocating the jaw. Because that jaw is 100% dislocated. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, chat, Scott turned this thing into a Cenobite. This looks like the Cenobite from, it's either Hellraiser 3 or 4. So now we know how Pinhead made the Cenobites. He stuck their face next to the muzzle of a Lahi. The websites they have to show you. Okay, worked well.
Okay. Looks like this thing is functioning properly. We were able to run through 3
Yes,
rounds
mouse the chatterer.
and
Yes.
no jams. So I learned 2 things. 1, my Lahi is functioning properly. And 2, you don't want to be too close to a muzzle brake of a 20 millimeter. This dude is messed up. I mean, he looks like Predator now. I'm going to say that Lahi right there is nothing to shake a stick at. So now we're going to blast what's left of our zombie bust with our Lahi 20 millimeter, and at the same time,
here we
I'm
fucking
give you an
go.
opportunity to see what it's like to shoot a Lahi. And I'm going to achieve this by duct taping a...
Well, because Emperor, the autocannon from Helldivers took its inspiration from these 20 mil anti-tank rifles. That's where they got their inspiration from. These very rifles. That's why it looks like it.
To see what it's like to shoot a Lahi. And I'm going to achieve this by duct taping a GoPro to my face. Lahi, 20 millimeter anti-tank gun. Let's get this thing loaded. So, first, we crank this thing. Okay. Now,
All right.
we'll put our mag in there. Big old behemoth. All right, we're all set. All right, let's send this bolt home. Okay.
Nice. Now let's see if we can hit the zombie bust.
Now, let's see if I can hit this thing. Oh,
Got him!
okay. I would say that we hit it.
Shattered. Goodbye, head. Oh, and look at the brains. Evacuated from the top. It sent everything skyward. Everything. We see these where it explodes the head and we see stuff go every which way. This one all went straight up. I imagine I'm not sure if it kind of like cheek and slightly to the right of the cheek. I imagine it would probably have the same effect. If he had that strike hit about an inch to the right, so it was more dead center. But goddamn, the force of it all projected everything up. Completely up. Oh, that's impressive. Ultranate fixing that headache.
Ah. Ow! That brass is hot. You may not believe this, but trying to hit a zombie bust at only 50 yards away with an anti-tank rifle with iron sights when your sights are offset to the left is actually a little more difficult than you would think. So I'm surprised that I even hit this thing. I managed to hit it.
Simo could do it. Scott. Simo could do it. With iron sights.
In the cheek, but it still detonated the entire zombie bust. Well, I had a lot of fun shooting my Lahi today. What did you think about it? And which one
what the hell are we about
better? The Lahi or the Solarthurn?
Wait, what's he about to do?
Comment section down below. Also, be sure to check me out on all other social media platforms. Links
what is he about to do here?
In the description down below, along with a link to KentuckyBallistics.com, just in case you want to pick up a shirt. And as always, my name is Scott. Thank you so much for watching Kentucky Ballistics. I'll see you next time.
Okay! Yeah? Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. When I saw him bringing out the lawnmower, I thought for sure he was gonna shoot the lawnmower. I was kind of actually hoping that he would, realistically. But, I mean, it's just another version of hammer!